Yeah, here we go now, baby. Right back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Friday edition of Before You Bet. Airing live right now on the Covers YouTube and X channels. If you're watching on YouTube, just pound that subscribe button and the like button down there too. Great big show planned for you guys today because we got a great big game in the NBA, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. The Timberwolves looking to bounce back. We're all over that one. Jon Metler has 5 separate prop picks for that game. I have 1. And then we'll get into some Major League Baseball 4 picks on the diamond, all pitcher props, including a plus 194 walk parlay. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that in the second half of the show. If you guys want to participate in the show, it is very easy to do so. See that live chat? Either over there or over there. If you're on X, I think down there, hit it up. Let me know what your best bets are for tonight. Let me know what you like this weekend, and we will read a few off over the course of the show. Okay, let's bring in my guest here. He's been with us here pretty much every day here during the NBA playoffs. Jon Metler. Metler, how are we making out?
Good. How are you? I know I'm excited for. You said I had 5 bets for this Timberwolves Mavericks. This series. I love this series. The matchups, the chess pieces. It's. We'll talk about the Eastern Conference. It's nothing compared to the Eastern Conference. That series is not looking good for the Pacers, especially the news of Tyrese Halliburton. So
So let's start there. Let's just get this series over with. I said the same thing about the Celtics Cavaliers. Let's just get that series over with. Thankfully, that only went 5 games. For content's sake, hopefully it goes 7. But from an entertainment purpose, it looks like another total dud. The Eastern Conference playoffs have been a complete and total bust outside of the heart attack Knicks, a handful of their games. This is going to be, if Halliburton goes out, I'm willing to guess that this would be the easiest path ever to an NBA Finals appearance. And I don't think that would serve the Celtics well. If they don't get challenged, they don't get battle tested, they don't get punched in the mouth, then waiting for them, if they go on to sweep the Pacers here, is going to be either the Timberwolves, the best defensive team in the NBA, or the Mavericks, who probably have the best backcourt in the NBA. So what do you think this kind of could hurt the Celtics in the long run, Jon?
It kind of goes both ways, right? It's like they have the easiest path and they're not being battle tested, but at the same time, they're going to be the healthiest team probably to ever reach the NBA Finals, and like they're also completely getting bailed out that Kristaps Porzingis is injured, like he's injured, and they don't even really need him. Then that's like craziest part is like they don't need him to get to the NBA Finals, which is like, could you imagine if you were in the West and Karl Anthony Towns went out, or like if any of these teams lost someone of like that significance to their team, they wouldn't stand a chance in the West, right? So it's like kind of both. It's like they're battle tested, but at the same time, their starters are only playing like 35 minutes. Like you're looking at other guys who are going 40 plus and like they're injured. Like Luka Doncic's knee was bleeding the other night and he's still playing the fourth quarter trying to get through it. And the Celtics are just kind of rolling. And like you were saying, the easiest path ever, like the teams they face haven't been the best teams, but the teams they're facing are also completely injured. Like,
well, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
No Jimmy Butler. Donovan Mitchell was out for the last 2 games. Jared Allen was gone. Halliburton is not looking good. And they the Pacers just don't have the secondary scoring options, to compete in this series. I know they had a couple runs there last night, but ultimately the Celtics ran away with it. Okay, so let's talk this series here, the Western Conference. Of course, the Mavs picked up the W in the opening game of the series. Maybe kind of predictable. I didn't predict it, but maybe in hindsight, kind of predictable with Minnesota coming off the Game 7 win in Denver. Dallas a bit better rested. But if you liked Minnesota going into this series, I don't really think you should back off of that. And we know futures betting is all about timing, and I don't think you're going to find much better value on them right now. If you still like them to win the NBA Finals, you get them at plus 550 to win the NBA Finals. That's the number over at FanDuel right now. And if you're interested in Finals MVP, Anthony Edwards plus 600. That one's over at DraftKings. So if you like them going in to this round, you should probably still like them now. And I think those are pretty good bets. What do you think, Jon?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If the Timberwolves, like So they lost home court, right? They lost home court in the series. They went to Denver and won 3 games. They won a game 7 in Denver. They won the other 2 games in Denver. So like this team can go on the road and win games in Dallas. Dallas has lost a couple home games in these playoffs as well. I mean, obviously you don't want to go down 0-2, 0-1, lose all your home games and stuff, but the Timberwolves to me are like, they're 100% still live. I have a futures bet on the Timberwolves. I'm not hedging anything with the Mavericks. I'm just going to ride out with the Wolves. I do think they are the better team in this scenario. I mean, it's going to be close. This is when you have the backcourt of Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, it's I mean, that's pretty much, you're in a scenario where you have 2 guys who can just create offense out of nowhere. But you said it's plus 150 at FanDuel, is that what you said?
Plus 550 for them to win the finals.
What the series price? Series price is, you should say plus 150 for the series price though?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look at series price. I was just looking like long-term NBA finals. So
yeah,
I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, I've kind of had this like idea in my head that when whoever gets out of the West and like plays the Celtics, that's probably who I'm taking to win the NBA finals. The hardest part about that is I really just didn't know who was going to win the West. And it's just, that's where, you kind of knew the Celtics were going to get there. But I when it got to those final 4, like Nuggets, Thunder, Wolves, Mavericks, I felt like all 4 of those teams kind of had an edge on the Celtics. Maybe the Thunder were the one team I was kind of concerned about, but Nuggets, Mavericks, Wolves, I would take all 3 of those teams against the Celtics because they're going to be underdogs too, just with the way everything's being priced. So whether it's the Mavericks or Wolves, I'm taking one of those teams. It won't be a shocker when we come on here for the NBA finals and I'm like, give me the Mavericks or give me the Wolves. It's whoever gets out of it, that's what I'm taking.
Yeah, from a pure fandom perspective, I don't think there's too many people outside of Celtics fans that will be actually rooting for them by the time we get to the NBA finals here. Our guy Nick Newport Jr. weighing in, doing some digging for us, plus 130 to win the West. And that's probably going to go to minus money if they pick up the W here tonight as a favorite on their home court. Okay, John, let's get right into this action here. You're coming out firing today. 5 separate player props. So we'll go 2 for you, 1 for me, then 3 for you. Let's start with a big one. I love these little dinky bets. Tim Hardaway Jr. What do you got for him?
Yeah, it's Tim Hardaway Jr. over 3.5 points, minus 105. If this was November and you saw 3.5 minus 105 for Tim Hardaway, you wouldn't be able to place this bet fast enough. His role has completely changed. He's being faded a bit by Jason Kidd. The trick to all of this, though, is that the market's also fading him too, and it's adjusted to his new role. And I think it's overcorrected to the point where we just don't need that many minutes from him to get over this 3.5. So you look at game 1, they went Jaden Hardy off the bench first. Kind of concerning. He only played 10 minutes, but like with a 3.5 minus 105, in order for us to have a big edge, we only need about 12 minutes from Tim Hardaway Jr. So, the 10 minutes doesn't look great, but it's really pretty close to where we have a big edge. I do think there's a role for him in this series where he could get those minutes. And I mean, 15 minutes from Tim Hardaway Jr., you're not asking for a lot. I just do think there's a role for him because one, the Timberwolves offensively, they kind of rely on Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, and there's really just no one else creating offense. They're more like catch and shoot guys. So you can hide Hardaway on defense, and that's his problem. It's his defense. So it kind of gives Jason Kidd an out where you can put him in for offense and hide him on defense. So I think that can lead to more minutes. And if they're blitzing Doncic, it should open up 3-point shots for him, and you'll want 3-point shooters in the game. So I think that could also kind of elevate his minutes a little bit. 3.5 minus 105, I'm going over.
There we go. Okay, next up, Jaden McDaniels. Pretty good in game 1 there, especially from 3-point land. What do you like for him tonight?
Yeah, so I'm going over 1.5 assists. Obviously, the point production in game 1 catches your eye. He did have 3 assists. The thing with those 3 assists, like 3 assists for a guy who's trading 1.5 plus 115, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is quite a bit. The thing is he didn't even convert his potential assists at a rate that was like above average. He had 8 potential assists in that game. That's not normal for Jaden McDaniels at all. That is not a number you typically see for him. So it really caught my eye. He's really just the beneficiary in this series that Luka Doncic is his primary defender, and there's really just nowhere else the Mavericks can go other than putting Luka Doncic on Jaden McDaniels. It's just something they just have to live with. There's just no other coverage they can play, and like you're just kind of in a scenario where if Jaden McDaniels beats us, Jaden McDaniels beats us. That's just the way the NBA works. You can't guard everyone. For Jaden McDaniels, what that does for his assists is Luka Doncic. I don't think I need to explain this to anyone. Not the fastest on rotations, not the fastest to close out. Sometimes he just doesn't even do it. He's trying to expend more energy on offense than defense. So that leaves open shots for McDaniels, or he can put on the floor and create for other people. They're also like running actions with McDaniels because they want Doncic to work on defense. They just don't want him standing there and getting a rest and putting all his effort into offense. So it's just McDaniel's really just the beneficiary of being guarded by Doncic, and over 1.5 plus 115. I think that's an absolute play until if he goes over again, he'll obviously move, and then we'll have to adjust our thought process there. But at that price, I'm taking it.
Okay, our guy Douglas Farmer weighing in 60-1 for McDaniels to win the Western Conference MVP. Now, you never know if he continues to take off offensively and play good defense, which is his calling card. This could be a decent spot. So, I mean, 60-1. Let's get real. Yeah. There's a lot worse things you can put a 1-unit bet on. So shout out to Doug for that one. Okay, my favorite bet for this game, I only have one. I like Kyrie Irving to go over his points, rebounds, and assists number of 31.5. So a pattern of stuffing the stat sheet versus the T-Wolves carried over to game one, where he finished with 39 PRNAs. He's now had at least 37 in 6 straight games against them. He's been especially strong at scoring points against them. He scored at least 30 points in 3 straight versus the T-Wolves since joining the Dallas Mavericks. And I still think this is a fair number. Didn't get a big bump after what we saw from him in game one. You go back to the first round of the playoffs. This number was as high as 36.5 in one game there versus the Clippers. So potentially still a buy low spot. We could see this number on the rise for the remainder of the series, depending on the outcome of tonight's game. So let's go Kyrie, my new favorite player, John. And you like something from Kyrie tonight too. Break your bet down for him.
Yeah, I'm going Kyrie Irving over 4.5 assists plus 108. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this because I'm really just doubling down on everything Joe just told you. For Kyrie Irving's assist number, this is just really low in general. Like this would have my attention in any regular season game. And then you flip it to the playoffs where the minutes are elevated. You know, he's going to be on the ball a lot. They need him. Like they need Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic to create against this Timberwolves defense. That's just how the Mavericks offense works. And when you're facing that strong of a defense, you put even more pressure on Irving and Doncic. Only 5 potential assists game one, not great. But in the one regular season game he played earlier this year against them, he had 16. So that kind of catches your eye too. I just think they'll send a little more help his way. They got burned by letting him score. And I think even when he gets in the lane too, I think you'll see a little more like the bigs contesting him versus just letting him get that mid-range jumper off for his layup. So more potential assists. I'm going over 4.5.
Okay, next up, I bet you liked in game one. You still like it tonight. Derek Jones Jr. What do we got?
I arguably like it more, even though he lost, he had 8 points, which is too bad. But everything I thought for game one, that doesn't really change for game two. Like I kind of saw it. He really just, he didn't make a 3. So it's really hard to go over your points prop if you don't make a single 3. He finished with 8 points. He's someone who can athletically finish around the rim. That's important against the Timberwolves just because you have so many shot blockers, and you saw it from him in game one. He could dunk. He had an acrobatic layup too. I do think where this bet kind of catches an even bigger boost than what we were thinking we might see in game one is that, Stan Van Gundy was pretty adamant on the broadcast. They need to blitz Luka Doncic. They need to stop playing drop coverage. If they send more blitzes, then it opens up, that creates more 3-point opportunities for the role players. So now you have a scenario like if Derek Jones is someone who can finish at the rim against Timberwolves, and he's also seeing a couple more attempts from 3, it's just like another boost to this one. So that's where if he knocks it down 1-3, it's like a huge help, I think. So I'm going over 8.5 minus 112.
Okay. Our final pick here. What is this? Our six total prop bets between the two of us. Daniel Gafford. What do we like for him tonight?
Yeah, kind of similar to what I just said. So it's Daniel Gafford over half assists minus 135. Similar to kind of how I was talking about Derek Jones. I do expect, like, Stan Van Gundy is really funny if you watch the broadcast. He was like leading them to I know Rudy Gobert, his calling card is drop coverage, but it's Luka Doncic kind of guarding differently. They might switch up who's guarding Gafford just so someone else is coming up so they can blitz him. I do fully expect them to send more blitzes, and what that also creates a scenario where Luka Doncic got to get the ball out of his hands. He should be feeding it to Gafford or like a swing pass, but you'll see a lot more passes to Gafford on the pocket pass or just an immediate pass, and it puts Gafford in the middle of the floor against a defense that is scrambling. And Gafford's just he's not someone who will stop and pop and make that as a jump shot. He just doesn't have that in his game. He's a layups or dunks guy, so he's looking for a pass. So it's just kind of like a ricochet of how, I expect them to guard Doncic, and it'll it should fall, more potential assists should fall into Gafford's hands here. It's only a half. It's not like he's going to have like 10 potential assists. You're just expecting something slightly different. He's also gone under 3 of the last 4 and it's dropped the juice to a point where it just increases our edge too. So basketball and betting side, I think you got both things here. So I went Gafford over half assist minus 135.
There we go. 89% of people in the live chat on YouTube expect the Timberwolves to pick up the win tonight. Yeah, I would agree with that, considering the momentum swings in their last series versus Denver. Don't be shocked to see them bounce back here tonight. In the live chat, Bill Lyons. I don't know if he's kind of making fun of me or being a bit sarcastic. Where is the Under Armour Charge cotton shirt? That was legit. I'm wearing one right now because if you're a guy who wears a lot of white t-shirts, you often buy these 5 packs of Fruit of the Loom or Hanes and you put them through the wash a couple times and they get completely destroyed. They get the bacon neck. I found these. I bought 3 of them. I absolutely love them. I tweeted about it there yesterday. I got it at Sport Check up here in Canada. If you're watching in the States, I think it's just basically their entry level t-shirt. So a tip for the gentlemen out there. Before we get into the baseball picks here, guys, if you are in the live chat right now, hit it up. Let us know what you like tonight for Mavs Timberwolves or even in Major League Baseball, and I will read a few off at the end of the show. Okay, let's get right into the Major League Baseball action, and let's start with the most provocative bet in all of sports betting. Of course, I am talking about the walk parlay. We got a big one here tonight, plus 194. Matt Manning, the Tigers, and Graham Ashcraft, both to have at least 2 walks here tonight. So check out Manning, 2 or more walks in 4 of his 5 starts. The one game where he didn't came against the Marlins, who easily walk at the lowest percentage in Major League Baseball. He's taking on the Blue Jays, who don't do a lot well, to be fair, but they do walk at the 7th highest percentage in Major League Baseball here. So a good spot to back them in that department. And we'll pair it with Ashcraft here having at least 2. This guy's been a walk machine. He's had at least 3 walks in 3 straight games. He's had 2 or more in 6 of his last 7. He faces the Dodgers, who walk at the highest percentage in Major League Baseball versus right-handed pitching. He faced them last time out. He had 3 walks in that game. So Manning and Ashcraft each over 1.5 walks, plus 194. I bet that one over at DraftKings. Okay, next up, Seth Lugo. Not a lot of pitchers break out in their mid-30s, but here we have Seth Lugo having a fantastic season. I like him to have over 5.5 strikeouts versus the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. He's absolutely obliterating this number with 8 or more in 4 of his last 5 starts. He's been super sharp on the road. This game is in Tampa Bay. He has an 0.62 ERA in 4 road starts, so don't be surprised if he pitches deep into this game, which will allow him even more opportunities to go over this number. And to bring it all together, the Tampa Bay Rays have the 2nd highest strikeout percentage in Major League Baseball over the last 2 weeks. They are whiffing a lot. Let's go Seth Lugo. Here's a guy I've been backing a lot this season. I will happily back him again. Imanaga, National League Cy Young. He would get my vote right now. Now, this number's been fluctuating all morning. Plus money at 1.5. At 2.5, it was around minus 160. I was ready to fire on that one. I'm ready to fire on it here. Plus 125, under 1.5 earned runs. Don't be scared of this low number, especially at plus money. He's 7-2 against this number this season. He's had 0 earned runs on 6 different occasions this season. This guy's allowed 5 earned runs this season in 9 starts. His best work has come on the road, where he has a 0.38 ERA in 4 starts. And to bring it all together, he's facing the St. Louis Cardinals, who absolutely stink, especially versus left-handed pitching, 25th in OPS versus lefties over the last month. And let's go out to Oakland, the West Coast. I think John and I can agree that Oakland is on the West Coast. We're going to fade a starter, Ross Strickland. Under 16.5 outs. He's taking on the Astros. He's running into them at the wrong time. He's in awful form right now. Over his last 3 starts, he has a 5.79 FIP with an 8.49 ERA. Absolutely melting out there. Now you wanted to bounce back versus the Astros, who are absolutely raking versus righties. first in OPS versus righties over the last 2 weeks. The graphic says last week. It should say 2 weeks. That's my bad on that one. And I like this matchup. I don't think he's going to be able to go deep into this game. This is a low strikeout pitcher versus a low strikeout team. So we could see some prolonged innings, get that pitch count up. For what it's worth, he's faced the Astros 3 times since 2022. He stayed under that number in all 3 games. So there you have it. All of our bets today. Getting ready for the weekend. Metler, what's up this weekend? Some hard drinking?
Actually, we have one of our best friends, Jocelyn. That's why I have the shirt on. Is getting married. We have rehearsal dinner tonight and wedding tomorrow for her. So I stole this shirt. It's not my shirt. It's my wife's shirt. I'm stretching it like crazy to put on the show here, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble. But I just thought it'd really be funny to show them later that I found in the laundry.
So I shouldn't be shocked if you call in sick on Monday. Is that what you're kind of alluding to here?
I'll be here Monday. That Monday might be the last Eastern Conference Finals game we get. So I'll be here Monday for sure.
Yeah, the old I get the old 2-day hangovers now. I hate to admit it, but I am out of my drinking prime.
Yeah,
those were fun years, but I get the 2-day hangover. Sometimes I get a cold attached to it. Yeah, it's not fun.
I'm like very concerned about my ability to stay awake past like midnight at this point, because it's just not. You think like you go way back a couple of years ago, it's like, oh, 3 a.m. easy, right? And now it's like, I need an energy drink. I need a coffee. I need something.
Yeah, you got to be strategic about how you you consume your caffeine. You don't want to pump it in all at once. You'll have a coffee when you wake up, have a coffee an hour later, maybe have another coffee an hour after that, and then you get into the hard stuff, aka Monster Energy drinks, right? And that should keep you going late into the night. Hopefully there'll be some music pumping and some good times for John out at the wedding. My weekend, I have nothing planned, and that's absolutely fantastic. I love weekends when you don't have a lot on the board. Maybe get out, hit some golf balls, get out, enjoy a little bit of nature here, and hopefully cash some bets, starting with these bets here tonight. Metler, let the people know, though, if they're looking to find you over the weekend to get your takes and insights on the games that will take place over the weekend, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on X at Jon Metler. We also have a Discord. Me and Jingles are in a Discord. If you send me a DM, I can send you the link to the Discord. You can join there, where we answer questions too, and Jingles answers questions too about hockey. I don't. It's really funny because I don't know anything about hockey. He doesn't know anything about basketball, so it worked really well. And then next Tuesday, Thursday, we'll be back. NBA release show with Adam Scherher from EV Analytics, 10:30 a.m. And obviously Before You Bet, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon.
Now, I needed to close my DMs on Twitter. No offense to anyone, but I would always get people hitting me up like, hey, Joe, what do you think of the Sacramento Kings first quarter team total tonight? And I would get in a habit of like, oh, I don't know, but I guess I would lean towards the over or lean towards the under. And I would just get like an avalanche of questions like that. And I was doing people a disservice, really. Like, they just wanted my opinion. Do you get hit up often for people looking for opinions on their picks?
Yeah, people message. I'll tell you, like, if I don't have, like, if I have the time, I will check the numbers on my laptop. If I don't have the time, same thing. I'll tell you, I just don't really know off the top of my head, or I'm very, very honest when it comes to those things, because like you said, you don't want to do disservice and just say like, oh yeah, I like the over, if you really just have no idea. So I try to be like extremely honest with all that stuff. If I have an opinion, I will tell you. If I don't have an opinion.
There we go. A true man of honesty and honor, Jon Metler, and we will end the show at that. John, have a blast at the wedding this weekend, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Best of luck. Thankfully, we're ending the show right now. Best of luck with all your bets tonight and this weekend. Thanks for watching. We will catch you guys again on Monday.